Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains rattled loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away.
Hey, good morning all. Welcome to build day 5. It's about noon. I've been semi-busy running some errands today. One of them was hunt related. Wood. Went and picked up some more 2x2s. I've got a couple of wall panels I need to repair. And I might need a couple extras for a design change later on. And I'll get into the design change later if it ends up happening. Also picked up some 2x10s. This is going to be my walls for my pond this year. Normally we use 2x6s, and the water blasters I found last year that I put in need a little bit more depth. So we decided to increase it to a 2x10 instead of a 2x6 spring. So it'll be 10-inch deep ponds instead of 6-inch. I also picked up another sheet of plywood, and that's going over the exit and will hold the blow-up cat. Before I could do my errands though, we needed to unload these. The hay and the 2 giant pumpkins, which will be for my donation can and whatever. They'll sell out the entrance. Today's main focus. I need to get another sheet of my windbreak out, get it put in there. I've got to get this sidewall attached down there. And then I need to get my nailing strips up in here in the corn room. And then after that, it's going to be doing scene setters, which will probably go on this wall, and then the spider display and the pirate display. We get that done, and then there's a lot of little hodgepodge stuff. I got fencing I got to bring out today, and I got to get my larger props out here and into their display areas, just not set up. And then we're going to start putting fencing up today too in here. So that's done and out of the way. So lots of little stuff going on for today. Okay, back for another quick segment. It's only been a couple of minutes since I filmed the last one. I did get the wall panel up over there, so that's totally enclosed and ready to go. And I did get my windbreak up here, so that's good and ready to go. And we ran into another problem. Got the windbreak up, and I went in the back to look for my nailing strips. And the nailing strips are basically a 4-inch piece of plywood we put right across through here. Gives us a nailing surface to attach the corn stalks to, and any scene setters that we put up. And I've explained that in other shots. Did something stupid last spring. Was cleaning up back there where I had all my stuff stored up, and I got rid of a lot of the windbreak and some of the nailing strips and stuff. And I thought just to clean up, because it was messy back there. And I thought I'd save some nailing strips in case I was going to need them. And apparently I'd thrown out all my nailing strips, so I have no nailing strips. So I'm left with a quandary here. I've got enough of the windbreaks to line this out with and just do windbreaks in here, and that would give me my nailing surface. Wife and I were talking though, we're not putting any scene setters up or anything in the corn hole. We're just going to put the corn stalks up against it, and we normally run a cord or to hold them around the corn stalks and staple them to the wall to hold them. And I'm thinking I'll just staple them to the cross member here. Now, it should be fine, so I don't need them there. My other problem though, and it brought up a design change, was this wall. I got windbreak on the other side, which is good for the pirate display. It'll give me a backing to staple the scene setter on. But I was going to put nailing strips down here. That way the scene setters on this side had something I could fasten them to. No nailing strips. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up bringing up more windbreak. I still have a bunch of windbreak, and I'll just put up windbreak right through here. It's 2 pieces, and I got like 12 left back there. The other thing was that kind of screwed us up. I hadn't planned on it. Was originally this was supposed to be the pirate display, And on the back wall, we weren't going to put any panels, and we normally just put scene setter across the front of the house to blend in the house, you know, with the set. And then the spider was supposed to go over here. My problem is I have one of my props. I made a mechanism that Widowmaker Productions had made for a giant scarecrow, and I made a mini version of it for a bouncing spider. Well, when we put that one in, I have one of those cargo nets. It looks like a spider web, and that actually goes over the prop, and it attaches to the top of the wall, to the sides of the walls, and then down to the ground, you know, so we have it all spread out, and the big spider sits in the middle of it with the mechanism underneath of it to make the webbing and everything bounce. Well, when we move the spider over here, I have no bracing in the back, no back walls. I can't anchor. I don't want to be punching holes in the house to anchor that damn cobwebbing. So we've been debating on how to do it. Well, I just went through my map and I took count on how many of my walls I have left. I've got 23 out here and about 60 in the back. So I'm actually going to have a few extra walls. So the wife and I got to talking. I'm going to bring some of my partition walls in, and we're going to do some walls right through here and then up to the bush here, which means I'm going to need to put more windbreak on them to give me a nailing surface for the scene setters that go on them. And the nice thing is that bungee spider can go right here in this corner. So a little bit more work. I've got to put up a few more panels. I thought I was done in here with the panels. A little more work, a little bit more effort, but hey, I was checking my vlogs last night, and by day 4, by build day 4 last year, I didn't have any of this area done. You know, I hadn't even got the partition walls up. All I had was a big tent and that tent done. So we are ahead of schedule. I am ahead of the game, so I have some time to mess around in here. So I'm going to switch back over to putting up wall panels, and then we'll come back in. I'll pull out more windbreak, put windbreak on it, put windbreak on that, and we'll be done. Okay, 45 minutes later, and we are done with the fix I needed to do. Got that wall in over there, got my windbreaks on it. It's been braced across the top, and then also each end of the wall has been staked. So once that spider web, bungee spider web cargo retainer thing, whatever you want to call it, netting, goes in and I pull it tight, the wall won't want to fold in on itself. So we got that one ready. Also got a partial windbreak up here. I'm not worried about that little gap. Reason why there is a little gap there is because there's a tree root right underneath of it, and it was throwing the panel off all to hell. So I just said the heck with it and moved it over past the root and put it up, and that little gap I don't need to worry about. My scene setter will go over the top. I just won't put staples there, and it should be okay. And if it isn't, there's some fixes I can do. So let's see, we got all the windbreaks up, got that screened off, got the temporary wall in. Next step is to clean up out here a little bit, and then I'm going to start dragging my scene setter wallpaper out, and we've got to do this display and this display. That's next on the bucket list, so let's get going. The bucket's getting full. Okay, boys and girls, going on about 4:30. I figured it was time for an update for you. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but see, all the scene setters are done right there. Took me all day just to do that one little panel. Actually, that was the last one I did. I still need to get the sheet up here, and that's packed away. I'll do that at a later date. But here's the spider display, and the scene setters are up in here as well as here. Wife's going to be coming in as soon as I finish all my work in here with the walls, and she'll cobweb the brick, she'll cobweb the bush, we'll have cobwebs on the trees, and we'll have cobwebbing all over the walls as well, as usual. And then we get into the pirate display, and there's nothing really extra I need to do in here with the walls. So this one is 100% done. Now my next step in the spider display is this here, and it's just green plastic coated chicken wire for the most part, and you can see little puffs of white on here. That's cobwebbing from last year. I take this and I go over all the walls with it, and I kind of scrunch it up so it's bubbly and wavy on the walls. And then the wife, and this gives the wife anchoring points for her webbing, and she'll totally web these all up. And we'll stick little spiders and egg sacs and stuff in it, and gives it a little bit more creepier of a feeling. Especially here on this wall, as the people are walking by, they'll be brushing against it, and they'll get get cobwebbing on them, which means every day she's got to come out here and straighten it up because the cobwebbing gets destroyed. But basically reset it. But anyway, I need to get that up, and then we're going to be starting on getting some of the big props out here and getting them into their locations. Okay, almost dinner time. We've done pretty good. Showed you the pirate. Here's the spider. We got the grating up on it so the wife can come through and clean it up and start applying cobwebs. We got all that done. Just finished it up a bit ago, and I've been out here unloading my truck. Got all the wood and stuff where it needed to go. Some's by the shop, some's by the side of the house, and the rest of it is right there. Some 2x10s. And that's what I'm going to be making the ponds out of in here. And I've still got to get some stakes and strings out here and kind of lay things out so I know what shape the pond's going to be. Before I can do that, I need to get the water wall in here. I'm not going to put it together tonight, but it'll get put in here. And I also need to get the pedestal for the stuffed dog over here, and I can't do that until that hole's fixed over there, which will probably be tomorrow, I hope. But anyway, there's a pre-dinner view of things, so hopefully we're coming along. Next step is to start bringing out the larger props. Alright guys, a little dinner, after dinner. I'm beat and I'm winded. Just got done. We got the spider out and its legs. Me and my wife had to carry that thing out. My back's screaming. I didn't feel like trying to carry it by myself. We got the, this is an old bed frame we've turned into a mini bar for the pirate display. We got the all 4 pieces of the ship's wheel out here. And it's going to get dark here for a sec in a little bit. Let me clamp that light up. Sorry about that. You were looking at nothing there for a while. I'll walk on over here to the sewer room. Kind of nice being able to take shortcuts through the things. And I know this is probably, yeah, it's just way too dark. I got all that lumber in here, and I showed you that last clip. What you can't see, and I'll show you tomorrow, is I got the 4 major pieces to that waterfall wall. They're out here. None of it's assembled, and probably none of it's going to be assembled for a couple of days. I want to try to get the maze and stuff all done. My back is screaming. My knees are screaming. I got a couple of leaves and an Advil in me. Just took them, so when they hit, it's going to be like heaven. Actually going to call it quits early out here for the day. The other thing that was on my docket to do today was get fence panels out and get them into place. And those things are a pain in the ass to move. And when my back's feeling, I don't feel like doing it. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to head into the shop, try to get that last water tube done. I just have the electrical on it, and I need to hook it up and test it. I need to get that done so I can get my shop clean, because I've got a couple other things. I've got, a couple panels I need to replace. Those partition walls stacked over there that don't need to be replaced, but they need to be repaired. I got to get a foam piece cut for the water room to go in that hole. I can't do it in the current state my shop is in, so I'm going to focus on that. I also tonight, or first thing in the morning, need to get that other wall partition sitting over there into place and get my measurement and get that oddball wall that goes in right here into place, because tomorrow morning it's corn day. In other words, we're going to go up and get our first load of corn. Last year, to do our corn haul, it took us 2 loads of corn. This year, with the hull being so much bigger, it's probably going to take us 3 loads. So tomorrow we're going to go up and at least get the first load, get that home, and get it put in. So tomorrow is going to be corn day. And then after I get that done, we'll have to wait and see. I want to get started getting the tents up and the maize up on the driveway out there. I can't do it until all the corn's home. So we'll probably, and then we've got a doctor's appointment in the middle of the afternoon too to do. So we'll probably spend most of the day screwing around with the corn. Yeah, fun. So prep work for that, get my shop cleaned up. So I'm going to move out in the shop. We'll give you some footage out there maybe. If you're good, if you've been good little boys and girls out there, you'll get more footage. Okay, dokie guys. A little bit after 9. Excuse me, smoker's hat coughing up a fur ball. Water tubes are officially done. There you go. Got the big one and the 2 small ones. So they are all done. Give you a shot here in the dark. And as you can see, it's only the top portions of them that are glowing. So I am definitely, even after I get the dye in there, going to need a black light, probably down at the ground, aimed up at them. So I'll probably have some fun with that. I don't know if I'll use my LED spots or a 2-foot black light. I got a couple of them. Be interesting. So we're going to find that out. Ran into a problem, and it's one I was going to fix with this one here. If you notice, bubbles coming up are nice and big, to where here it's just real tiny bubbles. Well, I had 3 rods over here on this one, 2 that weren't working, the other one had real tiny bubbles like that. So I was thinking, well, I had a kinked line. So I went and took those 3 apart, you know, unhooked them from there, took them apart. This one, the line was kinked and I fixed it. And these 2 weren't, so I messed around. I tried, let's see, where is it? Here it is. Tried taking this off. This is the check valve that I have near the end of it. Put them back in the water, plugged them in, didn't work. So I put the check valve back on and decided to leave the stones off, all 3 of them. And sure enough, it was the water stones that were causing the problem. They were not letting hardly any air come out of the tubes. As a result, the bubbling pattern is a little different. As you can see with this one here, it's more of a, you know, constant bubbling, to where you go here to this one and it's more larger bubbles, not so many small bubbles. So I ended up doing these, sorry, viewfinder's off. Ended up doing these 3 without the stones on, and they're working. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I might leave it small bubbles, I'm not sure. I'm still debating on the fact, but I might take the stone off of that one and go without the stone. You know, see what you get when you go to a pet store? That's where I bought those stones at. But anyway, I was able to diagnose my problems with them. So, Gina, Hollywood Haunters, Gina, if you're watching this, hon, there you go. 3 completed water tubes. Now, as you can see on that table, underneath the table, I got over there in that corner, and on this table, I got a freaking disaster area because of this project. And I've got some other stuff I need to get done for the haunt. So, since it's only a little bit after 9, I'm going to stay out here another hour or so, and I'm going to start cleaning my shop. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Probably going to be going on a field trip. Get corn, maybe. So, stay spooky, stay toxic.